everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of Hoarse Profits. Samantha Perry, Ron Nicoletti, Brian Nato with you as we have a fantastic episode for you today. A little bit of a change of scenery, guys. We're up in the presidential suite here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, I can get used to this, Brian. This is beautiful up here. They have 20 suites, overlooks the track. Boy, this is my kind of living.
Absolutely, great spot to be, great spot to watch racing. You can see it unfold right to our left here. So yeah, if you can, this winter, come on out and take advantage of what is just a picture-perfect type of setting here at the racetrack.
We have a really action-packed episode for you this weekend. It's headlined by the Grade 3 Princess Rooney. Brian, a winning you're into Del Mar in the fall.
Yeah, you only have to look back last year when Saffie Joseph Jr. used a win in the Princess Rooney to a win in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint with Soul of an Angel. Came from all the way back in the Rooney, came from all the way back in the Breeders' Cup. It's right back at Del Mar again this year, and we've got a pretty exciting field this year.
To kick off this episode, you sat down with a very special guest.
Yes, she's the security manager here, Tracy Reid, and she has one of the most fantastic stories. A superstar in high school, a superstar at the University of North Carolina, and a superstar in the WNBA. And we have the pleasure of her working with her here at First. She takes care of the backside here, the backside in Palm Meadows. And what a story she tells. You know, the racetrack brings such a diversified group of people together in different backgrounds. And I have to say, you're at the top of the list. I'm here with Tracy Reid. I mean, what a story you have, you know. So, you know, of course, all your accomplishments, too many to mention. We are going to mention a lot of them. But I want to start, of course, great basketball player for UNC, for the WNBA. I want to start at the beginning. When did basketball come into your life?
It's kind of crazy because it wasn't something I saw after. I grew up around a lot of boys. I have two brothers, so I grew up playing all sports. So just one day, randomly, a coach walked up to me and was like, "You need to come play for me." And I go, "No, I'm fine." Like, I really wasn't into it, didn't think about it. And eventually I came around. I was probably around 14, so I got started late. And then I was like, okay, I think I like this. And I started to play, and unbeknownst to me, I guess I was pretty good at it. I wasn't sure about it at the time, but everyone else seemed to be sure, and so I stuck with it.
Yeah, well, your local accomplishments, you know, Miami Central's finest, you know, the Rocket alumna, 1996 Olympic trials contestant, Florida Miss Basketball, National High School Player of the Year, Nike All-American, Miami Herald Player of the Year. So I think you were doing okay. I think you made the right decision.
I think I did all right, yeah.
Now, what is the process of, you know, playing high school and you all of a sudden you realize you have a chance maybe to go to college? Explain that.
Well, that changed everything because obviously playing, I'm enjoying the game. I love competition. And now I'm receiving scholarship offers. And I go, oh, this is something, I'm on to something here, because my mom, I know, you know, she couldn't afford to send me off to school, so it wasn't really on my radar. But once I started receiving all of these scholarship offers from almost every school in the country, I was like, I can use this for something. And so from that point on, you know, everything kind of worked out for me. I'm not going to act like I knew what I was doing. It had this plan that was set up perfectly. I actually flipped a coin between University of North Carolina and Florida because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. It worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get to UNC, you know, and you break every kind of record. That some still stand now. What was your college life like? I know it was basketball. You were the big person on campus when you play like that. What was it like? What was that experience?
Well, first of all, it was very different for me. I'm a Miami girl to my core. And as soon as I made that decision, I was like, oops, I made the wrong decision, because that was pretty far for me to be away from home. So I was raw. You know, I was out there kind of just trying to find my way. When you're in a team environment, though, they kind of pick you up and kind of help you along the way. So I got acclimated pretty quickly. And once it was just playing ball for me. It was more structured. I learned discipline. UNC is where I actually grew up and I matured. So that was the perfect choice for me.
Now, did you stay the whole 4 years?
I did.
You stayed the whole 4 years?
Yeah.
Now, getting to the process of where you might get drafted into the WNBA, how did that play out?
Well, it's again the way things worked out for me. I can't even make it up because going into college, even when I played in high school, there wasn't like today, like a dream, like I'm going to play in the WNBA. It didn't exist.
Right.
So I'm in Carolina as a freshman.
Right.
WNBA does not exist.
Right.
So I think the inaugural season was in 1997.
Right.
Perfect time. I'm coming out in 1998.
Wow.
So now I'm thinking about, okay, I can actually get drafted. It was 2 leagues. ABL was another league out at the time. So I actually was being sought after by both leagues, but WNBA sounds great, and it was awesome. I had watched the first season, and I was like, this is where I belong. So I was like, I think I can get drafted. And again, that worked out for me, and I got drafted in the first round by the Charlotte Sting, which wasn't far away from my alma mater, so it worked out.
Yeah, you were drafted number 7. And what do? You become Rookie of the Year. So that had to be a great experience. Now you're in college and everything is rolling along.
Yes, that was a really great experience. My old teammates were able to come right down and watch me play. Also, coming off that college season, I was in the best shape of my life. There was no break in between. So I literally went from my college season right into training camp for the WNBA. And so I was in great shape, and that season rolled around for me great. I played awesome that year, and like you said, I ended up being Rookie of the Year. And so I couldn't ask for anything more.
I think that you had the only person that had 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Does that record still stand?
Yeah, at Carolina, I think I'm probably one other player that did that. So it was a lot that was going on without really trying to break records. I realized a lot that through my hard work and just staying dedicated, that things were just working in my favor.
Now, travel. What was it like, traveling, being a Miami girl? Now you're telling me now you're going to all different places with the WNBA.
It was really tough because back then, unlike today, we was playing a lot of games. It's a summer league. So basically they're compacting all of these games in a short period of time. So we were on the road all the time, and we were flying commercial. We didn't have chartered flights. So you're on the first thing out. So you're playing tonight, but you're on the first flight out in the morning. You're getting off that plane and you got to play a game tomorrow, back to back. So it really took a toll on my body. If you look at what happened, they go, oh, what happened after Rookie of the Year? Well, I dealt with a lot of injuries, and that all those things came into play from trying to get back on the court immediately, trying to train and get back on the court. So it hampered me a lot.
Yeah, it hampered you a lot. I know that you had a knee injury, I believe it was.
A knee injury. I had tons of injury because I also was playing overseas, which we had to do at the time. You finish the WNBA season, you go overseas. I was playing over in Spain. So you were here and there and just putting so much toll on your body,
Touch a little bit about Europe. I'm interested. What was that like?
It was amazing. Like they treat us like queens and kings. They love the American players over there. You're only allowed to have 2 Americans per team when you go overseas, and you had to do it. They paid great over there. So most of the players that finished here would go over there to make up for the compensation because obviously we weren't getting paid a great deal in the WNBA. So, but the culture was awesome. You learned a different culture. I learned some Spanish out there. I ate great food. They took care of you. They give you an apartment. They give you a car. You just got to play ball. It was perfect.
There's always ups and there's always downs. You mentioned your injuries, and that's sort of what led to your career, I guess, slowing down and stopping. Is that the right way to put it?
Yes. So injuries happened after my rookie year. Trying to get back again, as I explained, in the WNBA is such a short season, so you're playing so many games, and you just don't have time to recover properly. So I played maybe 5 years. After that, I decided to focus on overseas. Overseas is more like a real season. It's over an 8-month span. You're playing 1 game a week. You're practicing. If you get injured, you could take them 6 weeks to heal properly and get back on the court. But once you deal with injuries, it kind of never go away. You're kind of just maintaining as much as you can, but then you overcompensate, and there's another injury, and there's another injury. So I had about 5 surgeries over my course of playing ball.
Now, I don't know how to say it. You call it quits. You're not playing anymore, and you transitioned into coaching. You coached a little bit.
A little bit.
How was that like?
Ooh, that's a different animal. Listen, playing and being focused and motivating yourself is different from trying to motivate a group of young people. So that was different for me, but it was challenging, and I was up to the challenge, and we did fairly well. My old high school came back. They wanted me to turn the girls program around there because they were suffering, and we did that. We were able to win a couple of district championships. A lot of those girls went off to school that didn't have that in sight at the time, so it was pretty good. Yeah.
So then, this is the part that makes it so amazing. How do you get here? And what I'm talking about, how does this happen that you get to be security manager eventually at first, Gulfstream Park, of course, Palmetto?
That's the very interesting part. That's the part I think is most interesting about myself when I speak to people, because the basketball part is kind of easy. People see you like, you look like you play sports, whatever. No one ever look at me and say, you look like you work at a racetrack. So, so that's something that's new for me. But what happened was at the time, I had ruptured my Achilles tendon. So I was back home, I was training, I was rehabbing to get back, hopefully get back on the court. I needed somewhere to work at the time, and although I do have my bachelor's degree in communications from North Carolina, I had never worked anywhere, I had no experience. So it's easy to be like, oh, security job, okay, racetrack, they're hiring. Check it out, went down here, came here, did my interview, thought I wasn't gonna get the job, like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna get the job, but they hired me and it was called the backside. Never heard the backside before in my life. Let's check it out. So I ended up doing security here, and it was seasonal at the time. I was like 2011. And so when I took it on, I found it to be very interesting. Like, it was outside, it wasn't security as I thought in my mind. So once I got on and I started seeing the horses and learning more about the horses and talking with the vets, and I just became more intrigued by it, and it was something that really stood out, and I was like, I think I like this.
And you talked about your determination and your focus. Did that translate to this job that you're doing now?
Absolutely. I think a lot of what I've learned from the things that I had to go through playing basketball, practicing, all the stuff that you give of yourself, dedicating day to day. When I got here, it was a big drop down for me too. Like, I'm going from playing ball to now I'm here and like, oh, what, $9.80 an hour, I think it was. And so it was so much that I had to discipline myself and like, this is what you got to do. And if you're here, you're going to become as valuable as you can in this position, whatever it is. So I wanted to learn as much as I could. Thanks to a lot of great people here, great people on the backside that took me under their wing and showed me the way of the backside.
Question: you afraid of horses or not?
I am.
You respect them.
I respect them. Let's put it like I respect. When I first got here, I was a little, but then I respect them. Right. So, and not afraid. They're beautiful. I love these animals, and when you're around them, respect is the key word. So I take that back. I'm not afraid of them. I very much respect them.
And we always call the backside another world. You know what I mean? It's a completely another world.
Right,
I mean, these people are so dedicated. As you know, they're up at 4 a.m, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. And these animals, as you can attest to, are taken care of better than you and I.
When I explain this to people, they have no idea. I was like, why no one's ever done a reality show on the backside? I'm like, when you hear the backside and you see these hardworking people, like you said, when they're up 7 days a week, early, I could never do it. And I've been dedicated and I've worked some hard stuff, but to do that and how they take great care and they ensure these animals are taken care of in the right fashion, along with people like myself. That's why we're on the grounds also, to make sure these horses are taken care of and not being neglected by anyone. It's amazing to see everything.
So different. You meet so many different people on the backside. I had, dinner last night with a couple of trainers. I need the name, and I asked the question I would ask. Were you born? You opened the door and was there a horse there?
Right.
And this
like
guy says, no, I was, I was this, I was that, and they get to the horses and love them, and they become excellent trainers. So it's just an interesting situation. So I mean, it's great. I'm going to touch on your dad. I love your dad, Clarence Reid. He's one in a million. And I remember I was listening to the song you wrote what was the song you wrote?
Betty Wright.
Yeah.
Betty Wright.
I was playing it yesterday. Clean Up Woman.
Clean
I like
Up Woman.
that song. So.
Grew up cleaning up to Clean Up Woman. Not many people know that about me either. Eventually they find out. And he was a singer-songwriter. He was big time here for the Miami Sound. Wrote a lot of great hits. And then he created the alter ego, No Fly, which that's for another day. That's for another day. But that was part of my history too. I was musical. I love to write. I used to do a little rapping too back in my day on the radio. So it's a lot.
A lot of I read up on him, and he's considered one of the original rappers. To use that style. That's incredible. So that's
very much
also
so.
incredible. Now you're talking about, I see who can be the face of the thing on the backside. If you want to have a reality show, you're the face of that.
We
So
need to make it happen. I'm telling you.
Well, it's been a pleasure. But can you still bowl? Can you still?
Listen, I get you on a daily basis. How you one-on-one? Like, listen, one thing about me, these knees is saying in my mind, the mind never loses. You're like, of course I can. The body will tell a different story.
What about a little horse?
I'll do that.
You can. Yep.
That's safe.
I'm not that good, but I'll play.
Maybe we can do that.
They got a basketball net back there.
We had one at one point. I'll make them put it back up.
Make them put it back up.
We can do that.
Yeah, I know you're gonna whoop me, but I don't care. So it's
no problem.
Absolute pleasure.
Anytime. Thank you.
So great. That was so interesting. That was one of the best interviews I ever did. I was so interested to see what she had to say, and she didn't let me down.
Yeah, and she was, so cool. The WNBA is blown up now, but she was at the forefront way back in the initial stages of it. What a cool, fascinating story. I'm the line maker here at Gulfstream Park, and I have her as a 1-9 favorite in the horse match, by the way. So
yeah, I challenged her to a game of horse. Where if you're not aware, you get the basket and you get the number. I think I might have a little bit of a shot. 1-9?
I don't.
I don't think.
No one seems to
Are you
think
going to
so.
use someone else's feet?
What? Huh?
Someone
Are you
else's
going to use someone
feet?
else's feet?
Yeah, I'll do someone else's feet. Well, there's no running in horse. You just pick a shot. But yeah, it was fun. She is a fantastic woman. Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
Well, I could talk about basketball for the whole podcast, but we're not going to do that because we do have such a huge weekend ahead here at Gulfstream Park. We got to catch up with one of my good friends now, Clint Cornett of C2 Racing, and C2 Racing has really just been put on the map within the last couple of years.
Yeah, without a doubt. They've done such a great job. White Abario, you think, comes to the forefront there, and they've got big chances, not only in the Rooney on Saturday, they've got an exciting horse in strategic reserve as well, in the Aventura, a 2-year-old that could really be going places. So, they've kind of got it, the bookends now, getting lightly raced 2-year-olds at the sales as well, as they always looking out for a private purchase. They've done such good work.
They really have. So we'll take a listen to what Clint has to say about the weekend now. Huge weekend coming up at Gulfstream, and you are going to grace us with your presence, Clint Cornett of C2 Racing. And Clint, thank you for making time to talk to me. And it's going to be a big weekend. It's got a championship meet feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, really, because the Princess Rooney Breeders' Cup winning year end, we always try to come in for that race, and we were fortunate enough last year to win it with Soul of an Angel. So we're going to see if we can't get back-to-back Rooneys.
Yeah, that would be pretty impressive. I know I was telling the boys, it kind of feels a little bit like deja vu since you had so much luck with this path last year. Do you think anything specific about the Princess Rooney and the timing between here and the Breeders' Cup makes this, like, quote unquote, a better prep than others, or is it just because it's home base?
Yeah, I think for us specifically, I think a couple of factors, right? Number one, it's our home track. And, we always enjoy running there. And we think the spacing is good, from the Princess Rooney to, the Breeders' Cup and having to ship out there. And, we think it puts the horse in the best position to be successful.
Right. And this year with Hall and Ice, she had a 4-race win streak snapped last time, but she was carrying 7 pounds more than her outside horse that ran her down.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed on the weight she was carrying. It sort of felt like they were handicapping her to get beat.
Right.
But that's obviously out of our control. And she ran well, given the circumstances. And we think she's going to fire here Saturday. So we're excited to come in town and enjoy the day and see her run.
She's been one that she's not only a need the lead type. I think you could glance at her past performances and a lot of people could say that, but she's just so, I feel like, naturally athletic and fast. She falls on the lead, but she can rate. Do you have maybe like a preference for her for Saturday at all?
No, I think, Zayas is riding her, so I think he'll just race ride her and see, he's obviously going to try to break on top probably. And, see if she can go gate to wire. But, I mean, she's a versatile horse, so she can sit, if somebody wants to get crazy, she can sit off of them and finish strong. So, I mean, I think she's very versatile, and she's a grinder. I mean, she's a gritty horse, and you can tell she likes to compete.
And Arkansas bred. Who would have thought?
Cold front, Arkansas bred. And if she wins this race, she'll be the leading earner for any Arkansas bred.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. And to have a filly that she's very well traveled, like she hasn't missed a dance. And sometimes I don't think people realize how much that can take sometimes out of a horse, particularly a filly as well.
Yeah, no, she travels very well, and we've had great success with her traveling, all over the country and running in a lot of different races. It's, we have a couple of horses like that, and it's nice to see when they do travel well and they're successful.
And the sloppy track wouldn't be a problem for her. This is South Florida. We have no idea what the weather conditions are going to be, but she has won across a wet track. I mean, wet or dry, it doesn't really matter for her, does it?
Not really. I mean, she can run on either surface, and with how I've been monitoring the weather, like you said, it could go either way. I mean, it could be a fast track, muddy sealed, or I think our preference actually might be a muddy track. Because she does run very well. We're wanting to see a great performance. And she ran 101 Beyer a few back. So we want to, we want to try to see something like that, to make a decision if we do win, if she can go compete in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, and that's 101 Beyer at Oaklawn Park is not an easy thing. That's a tiring track, especially in the mud. So
yeah, no, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So not only do you and your brother Mark have a good eye for picking out horses for private purchases, but you've in the last couple of years have really gotten into babies or buying yearlings. I know you picked up a few at the Keeneland yearling sale, but you've had two now very impressive winners. Hammond, that in his second start caught a sloppy track first time out, but then Strategic Reserve we'll see in the Aventura. And wow, this horse, I mean, the class he exudes is insane, Clint.
Yeah, I agree. He didn't get the best of trips first out, last time over the muddy track. I'd like to see a fast track this time, so we can really see what we have on a fast track, versus the muddy track. But no, he's since we got him, he has showed all the signs of potentially being a good horse. So I think, we're excited to see him run. We're stretching him out to a mile here. So this is going to tell us a lot as far as, from a distance perspective.
Yeah. Does that concern you at all? I know Munnings, sometimes they can go either way with that.
Not really. I mean, Safi has indicated, he's training well, he's fit. And, like I said, he got a lot of experience that first time because, he was behind horses. They had to make a move on him, and he ended up finishing strong. So, I'd like to see a clean trip, and let's see what we have.
Right, yeah. And I think for people that handicap the race, you can't look at that 60 Beyer and put a lot of stock in it because you don't want him to be over the top first time out.
No, you're exactly right. We want to see a progression, gradual improvement. If we can get a mid 80 here, that's fine, right? And just continue to move forward. He's had one start, right? So
right. You never know. But so is everybody else, which is so interesting about this race. Every single horse, well, the 6 horses that are in, they have all never faced winners. So it's everybody's in the same group now.
Right. Yeah. It should be a competitive race. It looks like it's shaping up to be for sure.
Yeah. And it kind of bodes well for you, having this race, the third race on the card. So a little before 2 p.m. That's before the afternoon showers get to us. And then by the time Hall and Ice runs a little bit later, maybe we'll have the sloppy track.
Yeah. It's funny because I looked at the weather and it said something like rain from like noon to 3, so, we'll see. And we've got the old veteran, Lure Him In running as well in race 6. So we'll have 3 in, Saturday. Walensky, he's great. We, he went out to Del Mar, ran a few times out there. He's back at Gulfstream, his home track. And, we're excited to see him run. He competes every time he's, in a race.
Yeah, he's a cool horse to own. Now, one final thing, because outside of the racetrack and when these horses retire, you guys at C2 do a very good job and a lot of charitable work with thoroughbred aftercare.
Yeah, we support a few groups, in particular Race Fund, Marlene Murray and her group that really goes out to auctions, aka kill pens where thoroughbreds have been left behind. And we'll help her and her group any way we can to get the horses out of those horrible situations. And her group does a wonderful job in identifying the horses that need help, and she has a great network of people that support her.
Yeah, it's so important. These horses, they give us everything out on the racetrack, and it's nice to have people like you and Mark that support them afterwards, even if you guys have nothing to do with them. I mean, we see it a lot just on X. There will be people asking, hey, this horse ran 2 weeks ago in Louisiana, and you'll just reply, done, and it's just taken care of to bail a horse out, which, that's a lot of it. There's a lot of people, I feel like, that talk on X and never really put their money where their mouth is, and I feel like you guys have always been a group that silently, just behind the scenes, gets a lot of stuff done. And as a racetracker, that's something that is just so appreciated.
No, I mean we enjoy doing it, and number one, it's the right thing to do, right? Even if they're not our horses, I mean, if we're in a position where we can help the horses, then we're going to do it. And there's a lot of other owners that do it as well. We're not the only ones, but we just love doing it and helping Marlene and her group specifically.
Well, that's good, and we'll put her information up on the podcast as well. So if anybody's watching wants to donate to Race Fund, they can do that as well. Well, Clint, thank you for joining me, and I'm excited to see y'all out here this weekend at Gulfstream.
Likewise, we'll be there Thursday and through the weekend.
All right. Well, best of luck to you and the team, hoping for a deja vu experience on Saturday with the Princess Rooney.
We're crossing our fingers.
It was really fun catching up with Clint. I always enjoy hearing his insight on the horses. It's a mastermind operation between him and his brother Mark, and not even on the track, Ron, but off the track as well, because they are so charitable with taking care of horses when they retire from racing.
And that's the most important part. You have to take care of these great animals after they've had their racing careers, and guys that do that just have a special spot in my heart, because they don't just race and forget about it. It's very, very important. And we'll put a number up maybe somewhere where you can donate if you feel like. So if you could pop up a number here, again, don't do thoroughbred aftercare.
Yep. It's always very important to take care of these athletes, because they take care of us here day in and day out.
We had the pleasure of catching up with Joe Bravo, one of my favorite guys at the racetrack, and I know you guys agree. He's always got a good story. He was a lot of fun. We're going to show you that soon.
Yeah, he was on the comeback. We haven't seen Joe since the middle of June when he got injured his hand, so he's been out that whole time. But fascinating guy on and off the track.
That's to say the least. What's up, everybody? It is Samantha, Ron, Brian. We have a very special guest with us today, jockey Joe Bravo. And if Jersey Joe is in town, it must mean that the championship meet is getting close.
Yeah, right around the corner, and it's always good to see Joe here in the wintertime. I have a lot of fun. Joe, tell us a little bit about what's been going on. We did the summer with the accident.
Everybody's asking, what happened? Where's Joe been all summer long? No, I haven't rode since, what's crazy? Friday the 13th. June 13th was the day. We ended up breaking our hand. You don't really hear it because it was pulling up after the race. I was galloping a horse out. And this game is so dangerous. You don't know. And it was like one of them things that you would never think I got injured. I almost had the horse stopped, and she decided to go the other direction. I came off, and when I went, I tried to brace myself, and, well, they end up having to do surgery. We put a screw in it. So all summer long, I've been on vacation mode. It hasn't been that,
always,
So it was kind of a nice time to step back from racing. But then I looked outside the racing world, like, what do I miss? It seemed like every trip I did was Saratoga, Del Mar, Monmouth Park. I miss racing. It really is. It's bro, I was born 5'2" for a reason. I was born for this stuff, I'm a jockey. What do you do on vacation? I visit racetracks.
How long is it going to take you to get back to where you want to be at the top of your game? Is it a process?
That's what the doctor asked me. He says, how long are you gonna be off? So I was off for like 3 months. So it took me like 2 weeks. I was like getting on horses. So I'm gonna take like another 2 weeks here at Gulfstream before I start. I start this coming up the 19th. I only ride one race. I wanted to see how it all goes. I ride 2 on Saturday, both stake races. Okay, I like that. Stakes are good. So it's all gonna be a touch of feel. To be honest, in the back of my head, what I'm thinking is, I carry a stick. You broke my little pinky, so when I go to it, it's going to be pretty interesting. So that's like the only question physically I have.
Yeah, your hands are your most important part. One of the most important parts of riding a horse. I mean, and you got to get that feel right.
Yeah, exactly. So it just seems like, it's just a pinky, but yeah, darn, that little pinky kept me out all summer.
Working out in a gym or rehabbing in any way, it doesn't quite get the same effect of actually being on the back of a horse.
See, that was the biggest frustration part of me. So my PT, ever since the surgery in the hand, I had hand physical therapy, but then I was lucky enough that I had on the off days. So it was like 7-day-a-week process of doing personal training too. So I kept myself halfway shaped like that, but there's nothing like being on the back of a horse. The first day I got on horses, everything, it's so sore.
You just had a birthday. Did you ever think, you don't have to do it anymore if you don't want to, right? You've done it for years and years, but is this is what you do? I'm coming back?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't retire tomorrow, yes, but if you wake up and you have no purpose, it's kind of tough. I mean, this is one thing. No, I for the last quite a few years now, I've not tried to ride a lot of races. I want to kind of hold on to my job. By not riding a lot of races, I think I could keep my job going a lot longer. Every day you go out, and especially here at Gulfstream Park, you got these maiden special weight races that come out of here. You never know who's going to come out of here. I remember going back and thinking like Curlin coming down the stretch in his maiden victory. That horse was in the middle of the racetrack. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew nothing. And it was tomorrow's superstar. And that's kind of hoping to team up with one of those again.
Kind of the less is more approach too. I looked at your stats. In 1991, you rode 1,933 races. That's over 5 a day.
That's a job. That's a job. I don't, at this point in his career, I don't want a job, okay? I love this stuff, okay? I really do. So I don't want to turn it into a job.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that because that's over 5 races a day, not just 4 days a week. That's a day. I mean, do you look back at that era? Had to be Monmouth, obviously, but Parks, maybe Philly Park.
So it's wild. I feel really bad for the younger riders coming up these days because there's really not much opportunity just because there's not as many racing as going on. I was blessed when I came up. I was riding during the day and night, not just Atlantic City and Philadelphia. Garden State Park ran at night. Meadowlands ran at night. So many days I'd ride Belmont during the day, go over and ride Meadowlands at night, sleep in Manhattan and go do it again. So everybody says, man, Joe, how'd you almost win 6,000 races? Well, when I was younger, I was a little bit more ambitious.
You can say you're always looking for that good horse. As you mentioned, Curlin coming down the stretch to maiden special weight races here at Gulfstream Park. You never know when you're going to be on the back of one of them, and that sort of keeps you going, I would think.
It's exciting. When you have an office job, you know what your duties are. My job's lucky enough that I don't know who the next superstar is going to be tomorrow. It's pretty, it's pretty fun to kind of pick and choose. Trainer says, hey, come over and breeze this horse and tell me what you think. Most of the time he's nabbed, but the one times they say, whoa, it's pretty cool.
Jersey Joe nickname. Do you like it? Is it a nickname that you want to go down with?
I was born in Long Branch, I like going back there for the summer. This summer I was off, and where'd I live for the summer? I was there on the Jersey Shore. Did a lot of traveling, but I lived on the Jersey Shore summer, and 4th of July probably put me in. Oh my God, I hate every barbecue on the Jersey Shore. I mean, it's something special about 4th of July, Jersey Shore, laying on the beach with good friends, just going ooh and ah.
Does it feel good to know you're not the oldest person or the shortest person in this room right now?
She got jokes. Why is Sam always picking on me? You were the funny. Oh,
She's
man.
picking on me right now.
Rob.
She's calling me the oldest.
I'm making fun of myself here. I am the shortest one, and Ron is the oldest.
So, well, yeah, okay. The big thing, Joe, the big thing that we haven't talked about yet, your passion, fishing.
Yeah, I do. You guys got a Centerfield Lake right here. The first thing I was like, man, please let me go in there one time. I've never fished the Centerfield here, and those tarpon are huge. Well, we're post-parade, warming horses up. Many days you sit there and you see those big silver kings roll, and it's like, oh, Yeah, that's my hobby. I'm not a golfer. I have no control of a golf ball, but most of the days off, I do find myself. Matter of fact, tomorrow, might go offshore tomorrow and do a little, mahi hunting, see if we can get a couple of mahi tomorrow.
While you were off on your quote-unquote recovery vacation, you actually did some on-air stuff. You took over our roles. What did you think about that?
So, listen, during having the summer off, it gave me a chance to think, what am I going to do today that I can't ride any races? So I did dabble a little bit of commentating and stuff like that. But another kind of passion that I kind of thought, and I would love to try to get into, is this bloodstock. I went to all the sales of Saratoga and everything, and you know what? I'm looking at horses that they kind of develop to every day what I've been doing for 30 plus years. I mean, when I look at a horse, I kind of look at what they kind of develop into, and it's kind of one of the things I would like to kind of dabble with. If I could kind of mingle that in between commentary, do a little bloodstock, I don't think I could ever walk away from horse racing. Horse racing's, yeah, it's pretty fun, Every day you don't know what to expect. And same thing what I said about the maiden special weights. Go into the sales, you don't know. Tomorrow's superstars come out of those sales. And I had fun walking around the Saratoga ring, and man, you see some of the numbers those horses bring? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
5,719 career wins. Is 6,000 a number? Is it in your head, or can you get to it? Or do you think about it?
Yeah, I leave the accountant to, that's the tax accountants. They do the numbers, okay? All I can do is worry about trying my best on the next horse I ride. And you know what? Hopefully we have a couple more years left to enjoy this game. You can't put a number on anything. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, this is a crazy world. You guys see what's going on. Be appreciative of what you got around you at the moment. And be thankful for the people you got around you at the moment. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So, everything else is cherry.
So coming back off an injury, we talked about that the gym, the hand rehab, it can't really prepare you for being on the back of the horse. So before injuries come out, you're breezing horses here in the morning at Gulfstream Park. What was the first few breezes back? Obviously your legs are sore, but is it muscle memory for you? What's it like?
Yes, a great question. And you know what? I'm going to put yourself in my shoes. What happened? Matter of fact, yesterday morning, you hit the gym, can't compare you to riding horses. Tell you about getting on horses, you get sored up because you need to physically get ready. But then wait a minute, you still got to go through the gate part. You still got to get into race mode. So yesterday morning, I break a horse out of the starting gate. We're three of us breaking out of the gate, thinking I've been doing this for 30-something years. This is great. I screwed up. It was totally my fault. But the horse was a little bit anxious in the gate, and what I do? Oh my God, let me get a little bit tighter hold. They sprung the gates. What happens? I broke in this horse's mouth. For 3 jumps, the horse had his head in the mouth going, "Jock, let me go." I'm like, bro, I was like, oh my God. I probably didn't get my gate okay.
If the stewards were watching you to get your jock's license, they'd be like, no, he's not getting it today.
That's one of the things when you don't drive the car for 3 months and go try to drive your car. But that's the same thing with riding a race. You got to get your timing back. You got to get things, and you got to take baby steps. I mean, when the doctor released you, you can't just go do it. You got to do the gym to get basic. You got to get the fitness of a horse, but then you got to get your timing down. Turn it for home, throwing the cross, getting after them, and really. So it's a baby step process.
One other thing I wanted to ask: during your career, how many injuries have you had that you've had to do exactly what you're explaining?
Yeah, Ron, that's a great question. I don't think I could go back and tell you all the injuries, but I broke my back 4 times.
Wow.
Broken leg. I was out for almost 2 years with a broken leg. Broken left wrist. Now I have to go through a broken right finger. But both collarbones I broke, and ribs. I can't even tell you how many. But they're all just like things that kind of went through. I really thought when I had the broken back, I was like, you know what? This is probably going to be it. But you know what? I'm just thankful to have a good doctor's gown. I was back after 3 months of each time I did. It was really lucky enough that they were just crushed vertebrae. It wasn't like I had to do any surgery. If I would have had to do like rods or they put cement in there, you got to be flexible.
When you wake up in the morning, is it like me? Till you get going?
Yeah, I'm like old age. It takes me a couple, listen, have my cup of coffee. I need an hour to get rolling in the morning, and let's go.
Okay.
Joe, thank you for taking a fishing morning to come and chat with us today. We're excited to have you back in South Florida. It's always fun, and one lesson that I've learned throughout all of this is respect your elders.
That's it. We're done.
kind of has a championship meet feel now that we have graded stakes action back here at Gulfstream Park with the Grade 3 Princess Rooney. It's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. It almost seems like deja vu, guys, because we saw this last year. Soul of an Angel for Saffie Joseph won right here, took it on to Del Mar, the show on the road, and what a race it is this year, Ron.
It's a really good competitive renewal, and you remember that horse last year came from the parking lot, both here and I still don't know that horse when he did, but I still couldn't believe it. Saffie did a great job. He had just so many different ways to go. I've been looking at this horse Reputation. Is going to come in off that stakes win at Colonial Downs. You know, it's Gustavo Delgado. I respect everything he does. My racehorse, you know this horse can take money. But here's the key. I've been handicapping for a long time. I love horses that love 7 furlongs. Perfect 2 for 2 at 7 furlongs.
Yeah, it's a big deal because it's a very, very tricky distance. Of course, we have the 2 horses coming out of the local prep in the sheer drama. Vincy Girl upset Hall and Ice that day. They're both right back here today. Clarette Beret, I think we kind of feel the same about her. I think her best race would win this. Is it going to happen, though? That's the question.
Yeah, that is the big question here. I thought one of her best races to date was the Churchill Downs race where she was just narrowly defeated by Vava. But Vava is a Churchill Downs specialist. And I'm kind of completely against her. I know that Saffie Joseph is not leading trainer here time and time again for putting horses in the wrong spot. But I think that she, out of all of his entries in this race, she's one that I would fade.
Yeah, and she's going to take a lot of money as well. Remains to be seen who they might send off as the favorite. But a lot of different ways you can go in a fascinating renewal of the Princess Rooney.
Who is your pick, Ron, for the Princess Rooney?
Right now, it's going to be Reputation right now. But you know what? I have a day or two to change my mind once I really get into things. You know, so.
Brian, do you have any early thoughts about who you want to pick?
I don't. I had Vincy Girl last time. She was a fortunate, I don't want to say fortunate winner. That's not the right way to look at it. I don't know if she can double back on what was such a big race. Lifetime best for her, but she might get set up again.
Yep, she could, but also that day she was carrying 7 pounds less than Hall and Ice. Very fun renewal of the 2025 Grade 3 Princess Rooney. Well, not only do we have the Grade 3 Princess Rooney this weekend, we also have some other stakes action on the card as well, including the Aventura. It's 1 mile on the main track, and it's a condensed field of 6, but it is not lacking in star power. 2 maidens we saw here win by quite literally the length of the stretch, and Road Forever, wow, what a road he took to victory.
Awesome. 15-length debut winner, Ronnie. They bet him that day, and boy, he delivered.
You know, if you follow the buyer figures, a lot of people do. She gets an 80 buyer in this race. So what do we get from both the son of Boltioro in this race? Just won by, as you said, 15 lengths. Does he come back with that performance? That's what makes this race an interesting betting race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can double up on that. Of course, Strategic Reserve, we talked a little bit about him already. He was very slow but very impressive, and it was over a sloppy track. I think he's got a lot more to give.
Yeah, he does. And what was so cool about that debut, for both of them, but more specifically Strategic Reserve, just with the weather conditions, is he was so professional, Ron. I remember we were out in the paddock just watching him. We had been dodging rainstorms all day. He never turned a hair. I think he has a lot more in the tank to give, especially watching his maiden victory.
Yes, that makes the race great, but there are other horses in the race that have a little more seasoning. And you know it's very hard to break your maiden and go on face winners in there. So that's what makes it, as you said, a 6-horse field, but intriguing. Does Road Forever win? Does Strategic Reserve win, or somebody else in the race?
Wayne's Law was impressive too, breaking his maiden. Antonio Sano's got Ramos, so that's a real good co-feature on the Princess Rooney card. And we've got 2 others as well, the Bob Humphrey on the turf, and then to wrap it up in the Ginger Punch with Starship Impulsive. So it's just an awesome, as Samantha said, championship meet feel kind of card Saturday at Gulfstream Park.
We've got such a fun weekend ahead, and now we've done 9 of these Horse Profit episodes, guys, and each time we get a different location. We're starting to take little field trips. I like this.
Well, I like this one you picked. I might go for a vote for it again. It's pretty comfortable, you know. But who knows where we'll be next?
Well, the thing is, is Brian is always on the couch, so we put him in a chair today just to kind of mix it up a little bit.
I could deal with this. Give me a couple TVs and
you got it right behind you. Yeah, you put all the ball things on
the ball things.
Yeah, on the screens there. But thank you to everybody who tunes in with already 9 episodes of this podcast. It's always a lot of fun. And Ron, Do you have your Princess Rooney outfit picked out?
I do, but tell you what, this is the best one we've done so far. I really had a lot of fun doing this, and make sure you check it out and mix it. Hey, I don't know what to wear. Brian and I have to call each other every day and see what color shirt he has.
Coming in with matching polos.
We did not this morning.
We did that this morning. So, yeah, we'll be in a different location. I can promise you we will have different shirts on. That's all I know about episode 10.
Well, I hope so as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us with Hoarse Profits.